All right, good afternoon. Welcome back here to Trader Money. Great to have you aboard. Micron, let's take a look here. We're looking at a stock that's up, 90 cents here today, with the market up a little bit. So 91 cents, sitting here at 48.01. Our stock exit level, 48.39. So we're 38 cents away from hitting the first price target. The option itself here is worth 360, 365 is the bid ask, so 360 here. So, gonna hold on to Micron. Now, I did, price out the potential of pulling it off and rolling it into another option, but we're just simply not there yet. So we'll continue to hold these options with the original parameters and run with it. So, Micron puts us back in the green here for the challenge, or in the green for the first time in the challenge. So, definitely nice to see that. We have cash enough to go out and make another trade. But one of the things I'd love if Monday morning Micron can, move up past this profit level. We can readjust it, take some of the cash out of there, and buy the next trade signal. And there's a good chance that we see some other trade signals come into play. Now, today there is a trade signal, and it's on Visa. And this is a company that reported earnings after the bell yesterday, and the stock has reacted here today. And it's one that I'm not going to go in get into right now. I don't like the pricing. The pricing's not horrible, but I'm going to invoke, rule number 11 is they're coming off of their earnings. And the fact that, we have $1,100 in cash, it sure would be nice to put, $1,400 to $1,600 into it. So I'll wait till Monday morning, let the weekend play out. Let those options come down a little bit. If Micron opens higher Monday and just takes off, okay, I'll miss out. Or Visa opens higher Monday and just takes off, I'll miss out. But, best case scenario be to see a Visa flat, and Micron, make a small surge and, be able to readjust Micron, be able to then go get into Visa and run with both of these. So that's what I'm looking to do. So no adjustments here this afternoon. Going to hold Micron into the close, as it sits. And I'll look to get into Visa here Monday morning. And do have till Monday afternoon to get in, should things, go that way. Now, on the scans here today, we don't have a lot. This is the upside scan. Walgreens, which I mentioned earlier. I thought Walgreens had a chance to trigger, but it's not. And I'm kind of surprised by it, that it's not triggering here today. It simply isn't. But, we'll see how that plays on out. I love the setup personally. I think it's a very strong setup here for Walgreens. But anyway, no trigger there. Visa already mentioned, has the upside 3.7 crossover. Disney has an upside 3.7 crossover. Like the downside 3.7 crossover yesterday, it's not a signal. We have Vulcan Materials, which seems to always be on the crossover list. Really just since we started the automated challenge back here May 9th. It just seems like there's always a crossover. And you can see the stock is gravitating towards the upside, but the crossovers have not had follow through to them. We haven't seen them signal many times. A few times we've seen a signal come into play, but not one there today. We have GOLD with an upside 3.7 crossover, but not getting a trigger here. This is one where it has the upside crossover because of yesterday's action. We are seeing gold reverse here today off its highs. We saw the GLD ETF go up and hit its upper Bollinger Band this morning and pulling back off of that level. Very interested to see kind of how that plays on out here. But those are the upside crossovers, and what we've seen in this market is we have plenty of upside, we have plenty of downside crossovers, and that has just kind of been consistent here. But if you take a look at what's downside crossovers, some of your safety stocks, your Dollar General, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Verizon, Amazon had earnings. Okay, great. It's down about $30 here after being down 130 overnight. But Pepsi, you can see down about $1.55 here, has the downside 3.7 crossover on it, but it's not a signal. I thought it had a shot, but it's not sitting with one as it sits. Coca-Cola, same thing. If we look at something like a Procter and Gamble, we're seeing some weakness on it today, but not like what we're seeing in Coke and Pepsi. Dollar General, we have the downside 3.7 cross, but stock's pretty much coming off of a new high. And then Verizon here coming off of their earnings and down about 50 cents. So not exactly a move to write home about there with it. All right. So those are the crossovers. Market vibe remains bullish here. 7 reading. We continue to see the market internals be bullish. Right. We're not seeing massive improvements in them. We're weakening in them. We're just kind of seeing them in that not too hot, not too cold area. Here overall. And, we continue to see the market pretty much, stuck at this level here all week. And it's what maybe we ultimately call a super slow motion breakout because it absolutely has been very slow motion for the index itself. We have small caps popping up here today into a new high, since September. So, that's nice for the bulls to see. Dow Jones, has lagged a little bit due to some of the components like Boeing here over the last month. J&J over the last month, some of its big components have been hit pretty hard, but some of its bigger components like Triple M have made a really nice snapback, really nice comeback. Triple M got hit hard yesterday, snapping back nicely here today, and one that I wasn't able to go through the earnings on Triple M yet, but is on my docket here to look at, this weekend. We see things like UPS holding up, in spite of what we saw out of Amazon earnings, which I think is quite interesting. FedEx being a pretty nice performer here in October. So we continue to see, firms buying stocks off of these lows, these undervalued names, these, somewhat hated names here or high worry names, I should put it. The Caterpillars of the world. Caterpillar, you back out to a weekly chart. It's very interesting, right? I mean, just very interesting. It's been in a 2-year consolidation, right? It was a monster run for Caterpillar, everything else, and now it's been in a 2-year consolidation, and we're talking about it breaking out this week. We are talking about it breaking out of its consolidation on high volume, and that's after its first high volume thrust off of the lower channel. I mean, they don't get much more bullish in terms of breakouts, than what it comes with Caterpillar. Now, a lot of times these types of breakouts, have a little bit of follow through, and then they get a nice dip associated with them before really going. But this is absolute breakout, and I know I didn't draw this line perfectly, but absolute breakout mode here for Caterpillar this week, and one where we talked about it. Their comparables aren't that hard, and the earnings, I don't think you could say were fantastic, but I think it tells you a lot about investor appetite and how hard of an environment it's been for investors in terms of picking and choosing. And, they see just something semi-positive, and they're rushing after it. And, we're seeing that here with Caterpillar. And, you look at some of the other mining stocks this week. Let me get it here. But we saw FCX's earnings, right? And FCX has had a pop and big drop and, another pop here today with its sector. But, this is 3 weeks in a row with gains on FCX. Vale, which signaled for the challenge. What was that? Let me find it. on the 22nd, so earlier this week, it triggered. And it's been nothing but up here this week, one of its best weeks in a long time. So, we're seeing some of these, miners coming back. I mean, BHP, decent week on it this week. Rio, decent week on it this week. Just very interesting to see that element given the overall landscape of economic data that we see. And I think there could be some very interesting follow through, here to it in the days and weeks and months to come. All right. Alrighty, so going into the close here with Micron, and we'll take a look at Micron. Hopefully it pushes above its profit level here Monday morning. And then we'll take a look at that Visa signal, see if we have a chance to play that, and go from there. Thanks for being with us here at Trader Minute. It's great having you aboard. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday. Take care.